can go live. All right.
Okay.
So we are now live. It's the Love Boat series. Thank you for tuning in. This is the second time we're using the YouTube Live. We're trying to get more viewers to really tap into our YouTube Live. You know, sweetheart, I think it's one of the wipes. I think I do need to wipe it. You were right. How's everybody doing? We're giving people a few minutes to tune in and to log on. So we need to know if you can hear us pretty well. You want to make sure that the audio is good. And so tonight's going to be a fun night. So hope you could, everyone can join.
There you go.
Thank you.
Touch it up a little bit.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That works, huh? So I'm gonna see if I can actually share this link really quick. We're getting all set up here, okay? So just bear with us while we blast everybody to join us tonight, okay? Join us for live.
Are you doing live on this too?
No, no. Okay, so shalom to you all. Shalom, shalom. So it's been a blessing over the past week to be able to, you know, just see this week, Yah willing. Praise to the Most High in all things. All glory to the Most High, Yahuwah and His Son, Yehoshua. We thank the Most High for the Ruach HaKodesh being in our life, the set-apart spirit. We're very thankful to have, you know, the Most High's grace in our life. Can you hear this? Can you hear it on here?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I turned it down.
Oh, you turned it down. Okay. And so, we've all said before, her and I said before, my wife and I, basically we just wanted to be able to free up some of our time, you know, and to be sounding boards and vessels to be used by the Most High to help individuals, couples, families, you name it, those who are seeking, of course, the truth of the Most High, but also His ways on how to live out your lives and to where your lifestyle and your relationships can be the light of the world. The Most High has called us to be the light. The Most High has called us to be the salt.
Mm-hmm.
But there's certain behaviors that salt has, and there's certain behaviors that we stand firm, believing that what we're going to be sharing with you is going to be helpful. It's going to be very insightful for things to come. So we're going to let some more people join really quick. Just give it a few minutes, and then unless you want to say something, of course.
Mm-hmm. Shalom. Thanks for joining us, and we really appreciate you guys coming to the YouTube station. And did that sound old? The YouTube?
YouTube, yeah. Well,
Sound
that's how
old.
we put the before everything in our generation. We have to say the.
The YouTube?
Yeah. The put live on Facebook too? We
Oh,
put it right
no.
here? No? Okay.
No.
Let's keep it
If
on
we
there,
act up, if it acts up, we'll probably have to go to Facebook, but I'm hoping it doesn't. What did we
Okay.
do live last time?
I thought we did.
But it deleted right after.
It did. That was a message, huh? That was just a bot message.
Maybe we should do
We're
live.
going to do better this time. We're going to do
Should
better
we do
this time.
live also on Facebook, just in case? Remember, delete it automatically? That would be awful.
Yeah, this is going to be a good one.
Yeah, I think we were having issues.
Coming our technical errors right now, so we got Adira says she's sharing it on Facebook. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Adira. Shalom, Cody.
So
Let me just try to get this Facebook set up.
you know, I'm gonna put it on my laptop right here, baby. so you can see both of us, I guess. All right, as we get ourselves together.
Sorry, y'all. This is going to get to be a good message. I just have a feeling every single time, you know, it's best to be prepared than not. So, we have so many different good communications and that aren't recorded in our family. And we were like, dang, I wish we could have just recorded that. And yeah, we're gonna do Facebook and we're going to do YouTube just in case, because last time we did a YouTube live, it deleted our video.
Yeah.
So we're not going to be playing all of that. You have to use wisdom.
Right.
So just to check if anyone has questions. I'll just go back and forth.
Tonight's going to be a good message.
I think so. What a good topic. Infidelity. What is it and how do we overcome it? That's a really good topic because, wait, honey, I think you should probably do it that way. You should do it the long way. You should do this the long way. This needs to go the long way.
No, this is how I always do it. Like that.
Okay. Like this. Here, put it on there.
Are you talking about the rubber band?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. This is still loose. I want to tighten this up.
Okay, just a second, guys. Thanks for coming in. Yes, it is a great topic, Akodi Adira. I think a lot. I don't know nobody who hasn't been touched with a tainted a little. I would say tainted by heartbreak. You know, and you know sometimes they say love makes you do the fool. You know. I hooked this on that, honey, so it doesn't, like,
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so we've all had our fair share of love woes. I must say, I have never in my life cheated in a relationship, so I don't even know what that looks like, but I have cheated. You went live?
Yeah.
Okay.
If we're pausing on YouTube, then we got to go to Facebook. So I'm going to just bring this up really quick. Make sure we're good on Facebook. Yeah, that's so clear. Wow. Okay. Cool. Man, these phones make you look like...
We got 5 on Facebook now.
Okay.
So we're on Facebook and
All
YouTube. Right. FYI, so we're going to be going back and forth.
All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So Savannah and I, we were basically just trying to figure out, okay, what we want to talk about this week. And I think last week or over the weekend, was it, that we said, man, you know, it'd be a good topic. We talked about infidelity.
Yeah.
You know, and we know that infidelity has, I mean, that's a deep topic and it can go pretty far. And it's like, it has different legs with customs that's not the customs of our ancestors. And we find ourselves behaving in ways since childhood that was taught to us,
right,
by people who we love and we care about, and those who provided environments for us to learn that, you know, testimonies and ideas, step program and 5 solutions to this and all this and that. But we want to talk about what it is. And I think before we do, you know, we got to be able to spell out why it's important. So, baby, I mean, I know we didn't really go over this too much, but why do you think we should talk about infidelity?
Oh, man, because that's the new norm. Infidelity is the new norm. Like, it's, you know, I would say back in the day, I'd always hear, well, it's okay if a man is going to be whorish, but a woman, ooh, you know, culture is, the culture of, I guess we should watch words, huh? the culture of the way of the world today, I know here in this country, is it's all over TV. They kind of like prepare the children before, so it's like planting a seed of um, infidelity. Like you see it everywhere.
Yeah.
It's just one of the seeds that they plant. So you grow up with this mindset, not um, thinking that you should save yourself for somebody and have it to be a special moment versus, oh, let me just try everything on for size and see where it fits,
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And it's funny because what one may think is infidelity, another may think it's not. And we live in a society where it's okay to have quote unquote different ideas and
Mhm.
and different boundaries. And so it's almost as if though it's all fun in the sun until somebody get hurt.
Right.
And then somebody get hurt, people start backtracking on, okay, well, what are the rules? What were the rules? And
Right.
so these are the things that we have to be able to identify and to be able to correct in order for us to grow for ourselves and those we are in a relationship with.
Mhm.
See, that's the key. And that's the part that I believe most of our people, no matter which culture you're from, many different areas of, relationships. So we
I
have
would,
to identify that.
yeah, I
Yeah.
would also say that too. Um, Infidelity is a big breeder of um, insecurity.
Yeah.
Or you're just not good enough.
Yeah.
And, or it's just like this fake motivation, I would say, to be something different. Like what you feel like it's an image creator. Like
Yeah.
whatever this person um, wants me to be, I am.
Mhm.
Or, um, how could I reinvent myself?
Right.
And it's to me, it's just teaching. When you have that mindset, that mindset is like a hateful mindset. It kind
Yeah.
of like turns you against yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like self-hate.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
self-hate.
Yeah. I can see that. I agree. I think that what happens is when a person, when infidelity and when act was, happened against, have so many questions that, hey, wait a minute. Once we stop being confused, then we know how to be able to now move forward,
Mm-hmm.
in more of a committed relationship. But see, people are confused about what relationships are and how I should live by them. What are the principles of a relationship? So what we've done is we got some things here we want to go over, um, discuss tonight. Last week we talked about the tent peg, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was a good topic.
That was a really
Good
good
job, by
topic.
the way. You did a real good.
Yeah, you too. Did you guys like it? I hope you guys caught that last week. That was on Facebook. I almost like, oh my gosh, it got deleted, but I could upload it to YouTube. But I think everybody that's on right now is also on your YouTube. So,
Okay.
but yeah, it was a really good message.
Infidelity applies to, and it applies to relationships,
Mm-hmm.
right? But what kind of relationships are we talking about here? That's what we have to determine, because the problem is, unfortunately, most people are calling infidelity something when it's not infidelity. Well, you said, what do you mean? Okay, so let's
I was just going to ask you that.
Yeah, let's backtrack a little bit. So relationships, the most high, let's start there.
Okay.
Because infidelity is something that you're doing in a covenant. That's something that takes place to a covenant,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So the question is, those who have had the act of infidelity placed upon them, was it in a covenant or was it in fornication?
Hmm. Hmm.
You can't have sin.
That's good.
So if you're in fornication already, then how can someone be committed to sin? You're already in fornication, so because you have removed the covenant of Yah, okay, you've removed it. How can you then judge it?
Hmm.
You can't judge this thing that you're outside a covenant with. So
So that's just like Messiah says the Hasatan can't cast out Hasatan.
Hasatan cannot cast out Hasatan. So there is some relationship. It applies to a covenant.
Right.
So let's get that part first.
Okay.
So now we have to understand, number one, if you are in a relationship, infidelity, that's fornication.
Mm-hmm.
So you may be holding a grudge against someone who doubled up on a sin that you was only singular on. Infidelity has to do with a committed covenant,
Mm-hmm.
not just because you have a sexual relationship in fornication with someone.
So you're saying that in order to be in infidelity,
Yeah.
you'd have to enter into a covenant first.
Correct.
Okay.
So infidelity is applied to a covenant.
Okay.
Why? Because this is how the Most High established his people first. He established them in a what? Covenant. So how in the world can a people go against the Most High Yah when they never made
A covenant.
a covenant?
Mm-hmm.
So we have to establish that. So now you have to backtrack. If you're someone out there who have committed infidelity, or infidelity has been committed against you, you have to ask yourself, was I in a covenant? I'm talking about a covenant to where we're married. Everybody know we're married. Mm-hmm. Everybody, not just that we stay in the same house.
There was witnesses.
There's witness between a man and a woman. Because he created the covenant between a man and a woman. So let's get there. So everything else outside of the natural state of a relationship is sin.
And
we talked about the abomination, right?
Yeah,
okay.
I just want to clarify the covenant part too, because the Most High said are just in a sleeping state.
That's all it is.
Booty call.
That's all it is.
Bed hopping.
That's all it is.
Relationship, and nobody knows what's going on with them.
But you expect them to treat you as if there's a covenant.
As a covenant, so you feel violated.
You feel violated. So your mind, your understanding is part of the problem. So that's the premise there, okay? Number two. I think we're going to need some water. You can still hear me though, okay? Yeah. Fornication or harlotry, those are one and the same. Someone who's fornicating or is in harlotry. We're gonna break down what those mean later. But what you need to understand is fornication and harlotry is sex without marriage. Most relationships are founded on this wicked premise, okay? But they expect the blessings of marriage. So number one, all around us, and the majority of the people that were in our lives, in our parent lives, in our family members' lives, was based off of fornication. So a child, a teenager, a young adult isn't thinking marriage, they're thinking fornication. So how in the world can you have a genuine, authentic love, right? A committed heart to something that's sinful? We're going to talk about that. Okay, one more statement here. Why don't you read that, sweetheart? This statement here.
All right. All actions towards one another is connected to the way we treat Yah.
Say that again.
All actions towards one another is connected to the way that we treat Yah.
How do you feel about that? What do you think that means?
I say that we are, just what I always say, we're spiritual people going through a human, spiritual beings going through a human experience. And that's pretty much saying that whatever we're doing to one another, we're doing to the Most High.
Got it. Okay. Let's get scripture behind that. Okay. Let's go to 1 John.
Okay.
We're going to go to 1 John chapter 4. So we need to always keep scripture in everything that we do. Okay? We need to be able to establish, everything in its context. 1 John chapter 4. And we're going to read verse 20. 1 John 4:20. And it reads, if a man say, how can he love Elohim who he hath not seen? So let's go back to the question. The question was, statement. It says all actions toward one another is connected to, how can we say that? But we're quick to commit what is called infidelity to someone who we can see. That is because, remember, the things that are in the spirit realm is what we do first.
Mm-hmm.
The things we do against Yah is what we do first. So how we treat each other is connected to how we treat Yah. So when we're dealing with the term infidelity, there's certain things that we have to identify.
Right.
Number one, of course, is identification. If infidelity is something that you're doing against someone, the fidelity is what you're doing with someone. Y'all get that? Infidelity is what you're doing against them, away from. Fidelity is what you're doing with them. So, but what we have to determine about infidelity is, where are you, or where is the person who has committed this against you? What is their fidelity to Yah? Or what was their fidelity to Yah? What was it? What was yours? And together, did you guys have a fidelity to the Most High Yah?
Mm-hmm.
This is where it starts. Because remember, how in the world can you say you love each other, who you see every day, right? I mean, say you love the Most High, but can't stand each other. So if somebody did something to somebody else, that's due to the things that they have done to the Most High. Everything starts with Him. I hope this is good.
Yeah, so infidelity is anti-Yah.
Mm-hmm.
Fidelity is pro-Yah.
Mm-hmm.
And for those who are watching on Facebook or YouTube, we are using the true name or one of the names of the Most High.
So let's keep going. So today's topic, infidelity. What is it and how do you overcome it? So what I did, sweetheart, is I actually looked up the word infidelity.
I bet you did.
You bet I did. On Wikipedia. On Wikipedia. Yeah.
What
And
does Wikipedia have to say?
see how I do with her? See? Y'all be thinking it's me. It's her. So infidelity, Wikipedia's definition says, it has synonyms, okay? Synonyms include cheating, straying, adultery, in quotations, when married, being unfaithful, or having an affair. Infidelity is a violation, so it's a violation. Now, when you hear the word violation, what is that connected to?
A law.
A law,
Mm-hmm.
right? So when you get pulled over, hopefully it's because you assumed or stated contract. Now, that word contract, what other word matches contract?
Covenant.
Covenant, right?
Mm-hmm.
So did it say anything? It's covenant.
Right.
So this has to do with marriage.
Right.
Anything outside of marriage, outside of the public recognition of you being in a union with someone, that is not infidelity.
Mm-hmm.
That is sin upon sin.
Mm-hmm.
You're in sin, but you want a committed fidelity type of outcome, but you don't understand the reason why you have anxiety, the reason why you could probably feel this too. When someone cheats on you, and I've had that happen to me, you feel it.
Mm-hmm.
And when he say nobody, he means nobody. And when it's torn apart, believe me, you will feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Because there's a violation that took place in the spirit realm.
Right. That's something. When people are in a girlfriend-boyfriend type of relationship,
Right.
and they they scream,
Infidelity.
infidelity.
Mm-hmm.
But the other person really doesn't care
Mm-hmm.
because that other person, well, if they're not married, um, doesn't care because they know they have in the back of their mind, I haven't even married you.
Right.
We haven't you're saying I broke the law, but there is no law in
There's
the first place. But they're asking for a married woman or a married man's
right.
justice to have justice in this particular department.
Right. Right. So I'm gonna read that again. It's a violation of a couple's assumed or stated contract regarding emotional. Uh-oh. So it doesn't have to define infidelity as here it is, violation again of a what?
Contract or covenant
Or a law.
or law.
Okay, so it's a violation of a law.
Mm-hmm.
According to the subjective feeling, this violation results in feelings of anger, jealousy, sexual jealousy, and rivalry.
Mm-hmm.
What constitutes an act of infidelity? Now here's the key. It depends upon the exclusivity exclusivity expectations or exclusive expectations. Wow. So there's people who are getting married assuming what is classified as infidelity and what's not. And the reason why that is, my brothers and sisters watching this, and I hope you're liking and sharing this video and hitting the little subscription button if you not already subscribed. The problem is that everyone has their assumptions.
Right.
And we live in a world of assumed responsibility. Mm-hmm. So as soon as a person do something well, they're quick not to take responsibility. Mm-hmm. So now how does it look? So you're violated against, and the person who violated you is blaming you for the violation. And you're like, well, how are you blaming me? You're the one that did the act.
Or
mm-hmm.
the person it works both ways. So say I accuse you of supposed infidelity.
Right.
And we're boyfriend, girlfriend.
Right.
And you're like, what are you talking about? We're not married. Or you tell me, here's the other way around. You tell me, I don't want you talking to any other dudes. Mm. You see how it's both ways? And it's like, what? Well, I'm not a married woman. Mm. I can talk to whoever the heck I want to talk to. Mm. You see how it works? It goes both ways.
Yep.
But what'll happen is whenever those rules or norms, it said,
right,
are violated, they go running, oh, woe is me, this happened to me.
Right.
So it could play both ways.
It can play both ways. So this is we're talking about, what you're saying, which is good, is basically these are just the result of what happens when you bring confusion about one thing.
Right. And plainly in a relationship. Like mm-hmm. people get into a relationship and they feel like, hey, I've been in this relationship for 8 years, mm-hmm. but they're not married. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? They haven't did the whole covenant thing.
Right.
But they're just in a relationship.
Right.
And they will feel like they're married because they're together for a long time. And yeah, they probably have had friends together and all those different things. Right. But that's really good. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm really glad we're talking about this because
we married
a covenant together,
right.
Like a contract covenant.
Right. So expectations that are not always met. We live in a country, my brothers and sisters, where the relationships are assumed and the agreements aren't always met. That is not a relationship. That is not a covenant. Are you following what I'm saying? So there are people who have weddings, but their mind is not in a marriage. Mm-hmm. So what happens is a wedding isn't a marriage. A wedding is part of what you do. So when you're married as a covenant. The wedding is a celebration.
It's a ceremony.
It's a ceremony. Mm-hmm. But the marriage is the commitment. The wedding's not the commitment.
Right.
The marriage is the commitment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Let me keep reading. It says, when they are not met, research has found that psychological damage, psychological damage can occur,
Mm-hmm.
including feelings of rage and betrayal, lowering of sexual and personal confidence, and damage to self-image. Depending on the context, men and women can experience social consequences if their act of infidelity becomes public.
Mm-hmm.
The form and extent of these consequences are often dependent on the gender of the unfaithful person.
Mm-hmm.
So, we're going to dig on this just a bit, but there's something I want to point out as we discuss this. You can feel free to chime in if you want.
Okay.
Okay. So, infidelity, what we need to get out of this, has to do with marriage. It doesn't matter how someone feels about it or want to misinterpret that. Infidelity is about a committed covenant marriage. They're telling you, I'd rather be in sin than in the blessing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when someone that you've decided to be with, someone you've decided to be sexual with, someone you've decided to be one with, has committed in their mind that they prefer to live in sin. They prefer to live outside of fidelity, but rather in infidelity, because what they're doing is they're showing you who they are to Yah.
Mm-hmm.
So when you jump into a relationship with someone, asking yourself, man, I wonder if this person's going to be faithful, the first thing you should be seeing. So there are certain laws that the Most High put in place for everybody to follow.
Mm-hmm.
Period. The Most High put a law together. And when you are in violation of any of his laws, what you're doing is moving from fidelity to what? To infidelity. What it is, what fidelity is, and how do you overcome it? But what it is, it's a breaking of the covenant. It's to you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to add something, or you go?
I just wanted to add, to me, I can see where the difference is with experiences of people being in a long-term relationship versus a marriage. So the long-term relationship is more
people being in a long
is more like there's an agreement between you and this person,
Right.
right? But then the marriage is no. This is a covenant because covenants have to have a testator.
Right.
So I just want to put that out there too because
We'll put it together.
they're different. A
Mhm.
covenant is a testator. For example, Old Testament, New Testament.
Covenants.
And they verify one another.
Right.
Just like the man and the woman verify one another.
Right.
You can see them.
Right.
If something changes, then you can tell something changes. Versus
Yes.
an agreement, someone gets their heart broke, they decide to split
Right.
up. You don't lose your house, you don't lose your car, you
Right.
don't lose nothing. You might feel bad, but nothing really happens to like your everything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
listen to me very carefully. There are people who believe they're in relationship, aren't in the relationship that they think they're in. And then they wonder why they're experiencing certain things in that relationship because you've been deceived. See, that's what causes people to lose their life and to lose their time and to get into these relationships that's just wasting time. And you just spend all these years looking, chasing something that has no rules to it. And every time there's a violation, look, every time there's a violation, then there's no self-accountability. And I remember when something happened to me, it was like you was trying to get that person to be responsible, get that person to be accountable. But as soon as you try to get somebody to be responsible, you got to remember our ancestors had the nerve, even after the Most High made a covenant with his people. What happened to them?
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? And this is where we have to be able to be transparent and to understand that, hey, you know what? There's some things that we need to take a look at. So we're going to talk about the traits of infidelity. We're talking about the 10 traits of infidelity. The 10 traits of infidelity. They are stemmed in the breaking of the commandments. Okay? So, I know you guys are going to want to get a copy of these notes. I'm sorry I don't have them available, but do your best to just follow along. All right. Number 1, the first commandment. Let's go to Exodus chapter 20. So we're going to show how this works. With his people. But we have to lay premise to what's really going on behind the scripture. Okay? Exodus chapter 20, we're going to begin at verse 1. And Elohim spake in all these words, saying, I am Jehovah Elohim, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt, verse 3 says, thou shalt have no other gods before me, no other Elohims before me. And what happens with infidelity, how it starts is based off of how we treat the Most High Yah.
It says do.
Okay, but where does someone make that decision to even serve Yah?
An examination.
Where at?
In your heart.
In your heart. Or in your will. You need to be able to make sure your heart and your will is focused on nothing but me. You get that? And so what a lot of people need to understand is that if you're in a relationship and you notice that the person you're with isn't always focused on you, that should be the biggest red flag. And you know when somebody's not focused on you. You know when it's on somebody, something else is on that person's mind besides you. How do you know that? They spend time with it. Their mind is on it all the time. And guess who's not on their mind? You. So, and so with Exodus chapter 20, it says that before me. Right?
Yeah.
And then what's the
Sounds like an understanding.
And what you should ask is, do you have a problem with that? Or are you the kind of person who will violate that?
Yes.
Go ahead.
And okay, so with that said, because okay, I tell you, man, I don't want you to have any other woman. I don't want you to look at another woman like you look at me. Okay, let's just put it in those terms. I don't want you, and vice versa.
Right.
Because sometimes when you get into, I remember in my relationships, like, oh, you meet somebody and that person has friends, right? That knew them before they knew you, and they're very close friends, or they went to school with them. Like you have friends that you're close with, and you've gone to school with, other ladies you bump into that were mapped out that we have together that we know is an understanding man or woman in front of me is common sense, right?
You would think so, right?
You would think so, right? But it's not so common. That's why the Most High got to explain to us what that's going to look like. Otherwise, something's going to happen.
Okay, that's good. So let's talk about this real quick. Number 1, the first of 10 traits of infidelity is, what kind of mind do they have? See, a lot of times we give people too many passes, because the first sign of understanding or knowing what's on somebody's mind is by the things that come out of their mouth. You understand? Your mind and your mouth is connected. So what you have to understand is that the Most High is trying to be able to get these people to worship him, and he knows that these people got some mouths on them. So let me get their mind right.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have to step back and ask ourselves, do we have the right mind? Watch this. Do we have the right mind to be in a relationship? Because you will find friends and family members and enemies, you name it, they always talk in some kind of way about relationships or people that are in good relationships because the kind of mind they have. They're always against it. They got to learn to be in one.
That's so true. Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
So Exodus 20:3. So here's a statement for you to write in. The type of Elohim or the type of God you serve before Yah is connected to the willingness one may have to put another God before their spouse or another person before their spouse. So now follow what I'm saying. Here in the land of our captivity, they wanted us to break the first commandment so bad that they put other gods before our eyes
Mm-hmm.
so we can worship them with our mouths. So when Easter, Thanksgiving, Halloween, Christmas, when all this came around, they wanted to change our mind to a different God so we can serve these gods more than we serve Yah.
Right.
But society has also done the same thing in a sense with people. So what they want to do is make sure they can try to put every other person before your spouse for them to be able to put that thing before you. Or you do that before you that happened to you, so you can't you put something before your spouse.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to be able to understand that it's the mind first. The first commandment that the Most High was trying to be able to get to his people first. Like, look, I need y'all to hayah me.
Mm-hmm.
Hayah, that word have, in verse 3 it says, thou shalt have. That word is hayah. Thou shalt exist no other Elohims before me.
Yeah.
There shall not be, right?
Yeah.
And so that connects to being, be, that's anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So ask yourself this question. How do you, one, not be someone who is committing infidelity, but two, not being in a relationship with someone who's committing, someone who's not in a committed mindset? You should see it already.
Mm-hmm.
You should see it. They don't want anybody to know y'all together. They're very secretive. Y'all, everything you know about the person you found out, they didn't tell you. You get what I'm saying? Why? Because they got something else in front of you, besides you, that they give more of their time to and their will to.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing you can do about that. Either it's something that you're going to ignore and expect better. You're going to ignore and be a fool in expecting something better.
Mm-hmm.
Or you're going to do something about that. There's no way in the world, I love my wife with all my heart. There's no way in the world I would be with this woman if she put anybody before me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care who it is. Well, okay, if that's the person, then that y'all be together. Because how in the world can we be one if there's somebody else in between us?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Going to be right back.
Okay. All right. It's of infidelity, how they're connected to breaking the commandments. And how the whole world, I don't care what culture, I don't care what people, I don't care how rich, I don't care how poor, how popular, how unpopular, it doesn't matter, man. Everything's connected to how we treat them, man. On how they feel about you. And you're not greater than the Most High. Are y'all following what I'm saying? Here we are, the creation. If a person feels differently about the Elohim you serve, that is not okay. That is not okay. That's a problem. But you have to understand that there's nothing you can do about that person except allow them to show you, hey, either we're going to be committed to this based off of these rules or we're not. And you cannot be afraid of letting that person go, because if so, then just count on having some times of infidelity. I'm just saying. If a person cannot put their mind and will to the will of Elohim or commit themselves to one Elohim that you serve as well, then how in the world can you hold them to the gamut or to the agreement to be able to commit to a covenant with you? You can't do it. All right, number 2. So we started with mind and will. Number 2 is Exodus chapter 20, verse 4 through 5. And it reads, Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Jealous Elohim. So you hear that word jealous, so that determines relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to have a reason to be what? Jealous. So he's talking about jealous now, about the bow thyself to down. It says, the Elohim, a jealous Elohim, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them.
His emotions here. And that's just it's so beautiful because he's like, hold on, don't hurt my heart.
Right.
And he's telling you how you would hurt it.
Right. Don't do me like
It's
that.
like, just
man.
don't do me like that. And I know people could understand that just by being in relationships to
Right.
where, they're like, okay, I'm going to take a chance on you.
Right.
Don't break my heart. Please don't do me like that. Like, let me, I'm jealous. I'm jealous to the point. That's just like basically saying, if you make me jealous, I is a vengeful Elohim.
Man, he the petty champion, boy. It's like, oh really?
Yeah,
I got you.
I'm jealous. FYI. So that's just like somebody, you get into relationships with somebody, you be like, oh yeah, one of my traits, yeah, I'm jealous.
I'm jealous.
Yeah, I'm very jealous.
I would jack your whole family up if you do something.
But if someone really approached someone like that and said, like, if upon us courting,
yeah,
and you said, look, I know we're about to do this, but I'm gonna let you know something. I'm very jealous, like to the point I will come after you, your kids, your mama,
everybody,
your
right?
grandkids. I'll be like, whoa,
Right.
I don't know if I want to get involved with you,
And that's
because
what
I
happens.
might accidentally do something.
But here's why though. See, here's the good part about that though. Because what? The Most High was like, I'm about to give you everything about me. And see, that's what's happening. The sad part I don't like about infidelity is that you have one person in the relationship that's given everything they got.
Everything. And
their time, their money,
so
their
sad.
resources, their hope, their love, their passion, their energy. They're just giving it all. And the other person is taking and giving what they should be giving back to that person to somebody else.
Right.
That's what jealousy comes from. Because the Most High is not jealous of the other person. They're jealous of how you treat the other person.
Yeah.
Like, how dare you treat that person more than you? I done gave you my time. I done washed your dirty drawers, and you over here. I cannot believe I done bailed you out and I done put my life on the line, and you. I cannot. But that's exactly what headline. I've been delivered you out of Egypt, and here you are, and I done killed the whole nation for y'all, and y'all want to. That's what this is. All right, number 2. When it talks about images and bowing yourself. So the second trait of infidelity is evil sight, evil image, and evil submission. The images, the gods, whatever you want to call it, that you have decided to replace Yah. You know, you got your football teams, you got your basketball teams, you got Santa Claus, you got all these. That's like me walking around holding hands with an imaginary friend. This jigger done lost his everlasting mind. What is wrong with? How are you holding? Are you rubbing? You have nerve to be rubbing hands of the invisible friend, right? Oh, what did they say to you? Are you out of your mind? Now, I understand. We all played victim to the foolishness of idolatry. But I'm talking about individuals who are walking into the evil sight and images of things with their eyes wide open. I'm not talking about those who don't know any better. I'm not talking about those who are ignorant. I'm talking about those who know, watch this, the terms of the covenant. The terms that can cause them to be in what? Violation. So the statement is, people who replace Yah with these fake gods, or they try to blend God or blend Yah with their God, so they'll try to have, you know, with Hanukkah and Christmas at the same time, Easter and Passover at the same time. Do I even want to be involved in that? Because that has caused what? Your relationship to become what? Lukewarm. And Yah is not going to be pleased with that. So a person who's willing to, watch this, compromise the covenant of Yah is the same person that's willing to compromise the covenant with you. So it's okay for them to, watch this, have images or set their sight or bow down to. Remember, don't bow down to. They'll bow down to something else. Because they don't have no problem not bowing down to the things that Yah say don't bow down to. So you could be talking to a person. Hey, I know your weakness is women with long hair. Hey, I know your weakness is a tall, dark, and handsome man. However, get that image out your mind. Because I'm cute.
You're gonna have to deal with it.
Short, brown, and all right. You feel me? That tall. Don't say tall. I don't care. I don't know what your classification of tall is. You feel me? But see, that's the image, though. So a person can have a good person in their life, beautiful, do everything for them. But they got a problem with their sight, their image. Here it is, the Most High. It's showing them how good He is to His people, but they still got an image problem. And it causes them to bow down. Wow. This second trait of infidelity has to do with the sight. Has to do with the image. And once, I'm going to tell you something. Once you get an image in your mind, it's hard to get rid of. It's hard for a person not to. Their image is in your mind. You can have something on your mind that you value down yourself to, that's doing more harm with it in your life than Elohim. So guess what? A person Elohim.
This is I feel like how you know you have another Elohim is because that person could take you through the ringer over and over and over again. And every single time, all they have to do is give you some flowers.
Right. Say I'm sorry.
Dedicate you a song. Right. Or probably not even do that, you know? Right. And you bow every single time. And it's like, you've been bowing for how many years now? Right. You know, it's like you're in and out of emotion. Right. And tangle and all this other stuff. And you just bow every single time. It's almost like that's all you know how to do is bow. Like you don't trust yourself enough to not bow. You don't have faith enough in yourself to not bow. You have no faith in Yah. You're just comfortable with bowing because what'll happen is some people are so addicted to stuff like just drama. They'll cause drama because they feel like that's how I know that person loves me. We have to have drama. And it's like, no, you're just used to bowing.
Here's the cold part. The unfortunate part about infidelity is that you don't know how long somebody has been thinking about someone else. It's thinking about. As soon as new relationships embark that are not marriages, that are not committed relationships through courtship, They hop from relationship to relationship. They're fresh off of a sinful bed, jumping into another one, right? And even though their body has moved from the relationship, their mind has not been cleaned up.
Mm-hmm.
So they jump into a relationship with someone while the other person is still on their mind. So they begin to treat the new person based off how the old person treated them.
Now that's just...
I know, I'm going deep.
Yeah. Okay.
So what's happening is Yah's people got into a relationship with Yah and start treating him as if though he was the one who kept them in captivity for 215 years.
And he be the very person they be praying to about the relationship.
Right.
And y'all was like,
Moshe come down the mountain. They got a strip club down there with the daggone golden calf. Why y'all treating y'all like that? So here it is. Our people, when they get into relationships, what happened? It's either too fast or based off the wrong set of rules, or they're under so many assumptions. It's everything but a covenant.
mm-hmm.
But then when you get into the relationship, because you have not quite resolved your past relationship, you're bringing everything and every thought and every mindset from the old relationship into the new relationship.
And it never works.
Why? Because you still see it.
Mm-hmm.
It's still playing in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Shalom, Bainey. I'm on live, son. This guy. See the kids? Anyway, number 3. So we're dealing with the 10 traits. 2 is the evil sight, image, and their submission. Number 3 is a big one. And we're going to read Exodus chapter 20, verse 7. It says, "Thou shalt not take the name of Jehovah thy Elohim in vain." And Shavah or Shav. You shall not desolate the name of Jehovah, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have the traits of infidelity is idolatry and vanity. Let's break that down a bit. So let me read this to you. Idolatry leads people away from Yah. Idolatry also leads people away from their marriages.
Mm-hmm.
Now, mind you, I'm not talking about fornication. Because remember, Satan can't cast out Satan, right? If you're in sin, or whoever you want to blame it on. Oh, it's because I was drinking. Oh, because I was smoking. Oh, because I was brought up like this. Oh, because that's how I deal with my anger. Oh, that's how I deal with my hurt. You get it? So people never take accountability. Sin does not have accountability attached to it. That's why we have rules. Come on. You can't go to work any old kind of way. You can't talk at your job any old kind of way, because if you do, what happens? You fired. Because you just violated the policy. Talk about that. All right. So, the way people desolate the name of Yah, his name is God. His name is Jesus. His name is everything but the name he called himself. I'm going to call him everything. Is the same way they'll desolate your marriage. So can I break that down, baby? So here's a trait. Here's a trait of how people with this third trait act when they have a heart of infidelity. They out and about. You ain't nowhere around. You know, that wedding ring comes sliding off. Why? Because I'm in idolatry. I need now for you to see me as someone other than who I really am. So the way people desolate the name of Yah is the way they desolate their marriages. So when they're out and about, people watching are like, man, I thought such and such was married. Man, the way they on that dance floor, wow, man, the way they popping at that person over there, you would think that what? That person Wasn't even married. Come on, y'all. Come
Yeah.
on. Come on. See, these people with these traits of infidelity have a sense of idolatry. Everything is all about them. How they look, how I feel. It's on me. It's all about me. It's mine. It's mine, not we, us, our. It's me, I. See, and that's what happened to people. I need you to worship me. I need you to not. This is not about you. This is about me. Don't take my name in vain. Don't say that we are in a relationship. Watch this. Don't go out there. This is what he meant. Don't go out there saying that Yah is my Elohim. He's our Elohim. But you got a Christmas tree in your house. Don't say we in a committed relationship, but you acting a whore out there. How dare you be dating all these people and tell everybody you married?
Making me look stupid.
Right. You get that? So there's people right now who have someone else violate, and you know it. The person watching this video, you know it. You see it every day. Like, man, this person's so selfish. Man, why is it always about them? How come it ain't us? It ain't we? Why is it so one-sided? Go right ahead, baby.
I was just going to say, when you said that, taking his name in vain reminds me of the scripture of when he says, be ye holy because I'm holy. And so called by his name. So he's like, don't do anything unholy. Don't do anything that is against our covenant.
Right.
Or else you have taken my name in vain. You're doing stuff outside of what I didn't sign on our marriage agreement. Like I put our name on this thing, and you know, you got a name change, and now you want to be Miss Santa, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Here's another thing. So, what happens with these traits? You're in a relationship. You think you're in a marriage, right? Someone approaches your spouse. Maybe it's somebody they knew from their past, or they met at their job. And because, watch this, and because their mind is carnal, and because now their sight and their image is evil, and now they're in vanity, they're quick to say now at this stage of infidelity, there's a chance for that person to say, you're right, I am married.
Reminder. Yeah.
However, it was a test that this person in this stage now fails. And here's what they say because of idolatry. And here's what they say because of vanity. Oh, I ain't all that. It's cool.
What they don't know won't hurt.
What they don't know won't hurt. Like, look, marriage in vain. It's almost like someone coming to you saying, oh, I forgot, man, you're an Israelite.
You're abusing it. You're treating it like it's nothing. Like,
because Yah says he exalts the word above his name. So when you disrespect his name, you disrespecting the word.
Right.
So now you have to understand that idolatry is connected to the words. That goes forth, watch this, when it's time for you to either stand or it's time for you to fall. Watch this. It says, the way people desolate the name of Yah is the same way they'll desolate their marriage. People will begin to reclassify their marriage. They will classify their marriage by calling it everything other than what it is. Oh, that's my baby mama. Yeah, we've been together since high school. You know, we've been back and forth, man. She be having her days. You know, no, this is the big one. Man, we just live together. We just lived. You have now taken this covenant in vain.
yeah.
You've downplayed what it is.
You downgraded it.
See,
really downgraded
this is the third step. Isn't this good, man?
It's really good.
Number 4. Exodus chapter 20, verse 8. And this is about to be good.
Mm-hmm.
It says, remember the Shabbat. Remember the Sabbath day and to do what?
Keep it holy.
Uh-oh, so you got to keep something holy.
Mm-hmm.
Remember it
set
and
it
keep
apart.
it.
Set it apart.
Right?
Set it apart. Don't let it look like the rest of the other days. Set
right.
it apart.
Zakar, right?
Yeah, Zakar.
Right. And Shamar.
Yeah, Zakar HaShabbat. Remember the Shabbat.
Remember the Shabbat.
Guard.
Keep it and to keep it holy.
Yeah. 6
days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the seventh day, is the Shabbat of Yehovah, your Elohim. In that thou shalt not do any work. So this sounds like rules to me. Does that sound like rules?
Sound like somebody wants some QT.
Nor thy son, nor thy daughter. So he's isolating who ain't. Look, I'm talking about everybody. No son, no daughter, no stranger, no manservant, maidservant, nor cattle, nor thy stranger within thy gates. Why? Because from 6 days Jehovah made heaven and earth and the sea and all that's in it and rested on the Shabbat. That's why. I know you're going to ask questions. I'm telling you why, because you ask questions. Why would he do that? Because he says so. Wherefore Jehovah blessed it the Shabbat day and hallowed it the day of rest.
Mm-hmm.
So how does this play in the relationship? I'm glad you said that. The way someone chooses to keep or not to keep the let me tell you something. Every week we prepare for the Shabbat. Not because of religious practice. It's because we're in covenant.
Mm-hmm. We understand we're in a marriage.
Right. We don't keep the Shabbat on the Shabbat. Keeping the Shabbat is preparing for the Shabbat. So we prepare for the Shabbat. We have a mind for the Shabbat. And we're thankful for the Shabbat. So the fourth trait that people with infidelity traits have is a problem with commitment and a problem with sacrifice. They got a problem with that.
Mm-hmm.
Never do nothing together. There's always a reason why we can't go do something together. It's always somebody else showing up. It's always somebody else calling. It's always something.
Mm-hmm.
And the Most High said, I don't care if it's your cattle. I don't care if it's a donkey. I don't care if it's a dog. I'm telling you right now.
Everybody got to sit down.
Sit down, everybody.
Sit down.
If they're not at the door, come in and sit down.
I'm going to need that time.
But see, relationships need that time. And if you can't set a time with Yah, how in the world can you set a time together?
That's right.
This is on point. So a person who's willing not to spend no time with Yah, no time. Why in the world are you asking them for time? Sorry, that's a little hard.
It's all right.
How in the world can you ask somebody for their time when they can't even give Yah their time?
They're not worried.
One day he breaks it down. Look, I built the earth in 6 days. I did. From dirt to the firmament. Can I get a day off, please? I need rest. I need rest. I want to go home. I ain't here. My point I'm trying to make is this world will consume your relationship if you let them. If you don't understand your covenant and a person who's with you don't understand, ain't no relationship.
Mm-mm. You have, and basically what the Most High is saying when he's talking about, I don't want nobody barking around here. I don't want no animals moving.
I don't want to hear nothing.
What he's saying is, look,
sit down.
Do you know how tired I am?
Right.
I'm gonna carry you.
Man,
I've been taking care of you for all these days and making sure
Right.
you got everything
You've been working,
need
I've been
and
working.
letting you
Right.
do your thing.
Right.
And now, honey,
Right.
it's me
It's
and
me
you.
and you. It's us.
Let's chill.
It's the set aside time.
Look, and then
Every week.
yeah, look. And so just like you and I,
Yeah.
we make plans. We're busy.
Right.
He does his thing, I do my thing. We be like this. Woo, 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 woo. But we prepare to do things together because we know we've been so busy. And when you don't do that, you need to take time out. You can't be working and helping people and all the time. You have to stop, pause, and give you guys quality time. That is a must in a relationship.
Right.
That is a must in a marriage. That's a must. Or else you're going to have some kind of infidelity. There's going to be a God that's going to be placed there. You're not going to be ever to even to continue a connection. So that's a nugget.
That's a good nugget.
That's
so
a nugget.
That's good, huh?
Yeah,
especially when you have the time. So, but see, when a person can give an excuse, if a person can give an excuse not to obey Yah with commitment and sacrifice through preparing, keeping, and being thankful for, how can you, in your heart of hearts, given the fact that you're not even compared on the same level of Yah, even think that somebody would do that for you? Let's figure this out. Go to Exodus. Is it 31 I said? I think I'm wrong. 16, I'm sorry. 31, 16. It says, I'm going to start at 15. What your hours are. 6 days make work be done. But in the seventh, the Sabbath of rest, holy unto Jehovah, whosoever doeth work on the Sabbath day, he shall surely put to death. That's how serious he was. Now, if you don't show up, I'm going to kill y'all. Oh, wow, he's serious. Okay.
I told you I was jealous.
But the next verse is, the next two verses is key. It says, wherefore the children for 5 years, throughout, for 20 years, throughout their generations, for a what? Per night. Now he's saying, this is how we're going to know. It is a sign. So it's like the wedding ring of our relationship. It's a sign between me and the whole world. No. Me and the Hamites. No. Me and the Moabites. No. Me and the children of Israel. So it identifies forever. So covenants are meant to be how long? 10 years?
Forever.
Forever. 5 years?
Forever.
10, 15? Forever. It is a sign between me and the children of Israel. How long? Forever. For in 6 days Jehovah made heaven and earth. And on the seventh day he rested and was what? Refreshed. There's something happens in a relationship. Most relationships need what is called a refreshing.
That's why.
There's certain people that's been together for so long, they can't stand each other. Because they got a funky attitude. Because their relationship is not refreshed. They're stinking attitude. They talk about it. It was smelling good. Your shirt used to smell good. Now you get your funky shirts off the bed with your stinking socks. If you don't get your stinking breath off, everything's stinking. Now your food stink.
Attitude
Outside stink. This couch stink. Your hair stink. What's wrong with your eyelids? They stink.
Off stank. This is just.
So the Shabbat was meant to refresh you. And when you don't have, commitment and time in your relationship to set apart consistently in the covenant, you won't be refreshed, but you be stinking. Still stinking self.
Just stinking self.
Attitude stink. The look on your face is stink. You got that stink look on your face. Why are you looking at me like that with that stink look? Because you ain't been refreshed.
Stink.
Are y'all getting what I'm saying? I'm sure y'all can read through the cracks on that. See?
Because I can just imagine. But it makes sense because
Makes
if
so much
someone's
sense.
working 6 days a week already, they're tired, right? Especially if they're have a laborer's job. But you never have time for refreshing, so you're still
Never.
working,
Right.
and you're not being refreshed. So that gives you a little
Man,
funky attitude.
that's funky.
It's
Look.
like I'm gonna have an attitude.
So my wife put me up on this game called The Sims, right? I'm just new to this stuff, right? And in The Sims, you gotta just take care of this sim and make sure it goes to work, eat, take showers, and all this and that. And when this sim hasn't taken a shower, they get upset and they mad. They got a funky
That won't
attitude.
do
They
nothing.
walk around, they be, they do all these crazy moves because they haven't been refreshed. And that's what a lot of relationships look like. You got good people, look, that are not refreshing. In a relationship with each other, that don't make no sense. That's what they were talking about. How you gonna say you love Elohim that you don't see, but then, I mean, you know what I mean? And not love the one next to you. It's because you don't have that connection with the Most High. This is good.
This is good. This is really good. Is this good, guys?
And I'm going to stop here pretty soon.
Yeah,
I'm going to do one more and that's
this is
it.
some really good information.
We'll do a part 2 to this next week. Okay?
Yeah, this is some really good information.
So this is the last one for this week. The 5th trait of infidelity. We talked about number 1, the carnal mind. The carnal mind and will. Number 2, the evil sight, the evil image, and evil submission. Number 3, we talked about idolatry. Number 4, the lack of commitment and sacrifice. Number 5, the lack of honor and respect. Oh, Exodus chapter 20, verse 13.
Well, we already did the tent peg last week.
Yeah, we hit that tent peg.
If you got that, will go right. That will
Fit right in there.
Right, perfect.
Let's do Exodus 20 and 12. I'm sorry. So, it reads, honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which Jehovah thy Elohim giveth thee. Now, please pay close attention to this, because this that evidently you guys got a problem doing. I see how y'all talk to y'all mama. I see how y'all talk to y'all daddy. And I don't feel cool about that. Matter of fact, I got a little clause in the contract telling you to honor. Then instead of me doing something to them, I'm going to do something to you. So what happens in relationships? Because a person's lacking honor, they don't honor you. They don't respect you. So what happens is a person in their life to dishonor the marriage. Follow what I'm saying? Follow what I'm
so
it's deep.
That's a saying too.
If you commit infidelity, you may not know this, and you may think that you're invincible, but you are actually putting your life on the line. Not only are you putting your life on the line, but you're putting your life, the life on the line of the person you say you love, or the one who said they love you. Do you not know when you don't love, honor, and respect somebody, and you willing to dishonor them, that can bring, watch this, death to your relationship? You are now opening up yourself for the things of destruction into your life and into your body. Because see, you've allowed your eyes to lead you to embark upon something, watch this, that could kill you. You touch the wrong person's spouse if you want to. That can be your last day on earth. On earth. Why? Because you have a lack of what? Honor. And what else? And respect.
Respect.
You got it, man.
Have you ever heard the saying? My mother told me this, and she used to always tell me and my sisters, you can tell how someone's going to treat you by the way they treat their parents.
Hmm.
Remember that old saying? Do you remember that?
Oh yeah.
I grew up with that.
That's big.
Or not only my mother
That's
said
scripture.
it, my grandmother said it.
That's
I was
scripture.
like, how you can tell someone, you could tell how they're going to treat you by the way they treat their parents.
Yep. That's so true. That's so true. It's crazy because I remember coming up and hearing people cuss in front of their mama.
Yeah.
I'm like, you cuss in front of your mom? They're like, yeah, she don't care. And I'm like, bruh.
And it's that part. And some people, they probably feel like they're in a relationship with somebody that they treat their parents good.
Right.
Well, what is good? Because remember, our good is not like the Most High's good.
Right.
And it's like you could grow up in a culture and environment to where, okay, it's not honorable or not respectful. And then you just think it's a pass because that person's your mom. Well, that's a dishonor too.
Yeah.
So that's what we're saying, like how somebody honors, you got to pay attention on how a person will honor their parent. And it's not just, it's the way they speak around them. It's the way they dress around them. It's probably what they say about them.
Right.
You know, it's more than what we're thinking. It's more than that.
Right.
You know, so you have to just think about that. Because there's a lot that I honor my mom. I only have one parent, but I have a stepfather. I honor him too. I just, you know, I couldn't, like some people will joke with them, and I don't treat them like they're my friend. I treat them like they're my parent. You know, like I would never want to step out of bounds with my parent and disrespect their eldership, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? Not that part, just to try to understand that.
That's good. That's good. So here's something we can add to that. You might want to write this down, whoever's listening. Dishonor is tied to death. If you're in a relationship with a person who shows the relationship a lack of honor and lack of respect, they're telling you that I'm willing to dishonor this relationship to the point of death. I could be with you. I ain't gotta be with you. I could be with somebody. Have you ever heard that? Have you ever heard somebody try telling you while you were together? I'll be with somebody.
I could take or leave you.
I could leave. And you be like, well, bounce. You don't need to go back and forth with nobody like that.
Right.
Because they already have a lack of honor and respect. They have no honor. That's how, look how it's tied together. So imagine a kid talking to their parent. God said that right there will shorten your days on the earth. That's the same way if somebody does that in a relationship, it's shortening the days of the covenant. It's nearing the end. There's a high chance that death is coming somewhere. So here's something to write down. Honor has to do with submission. Honor is connected to submission. The Most High wants to see, okay, you say you love your parents, then submit to them. When they tell you, chapter 5, let's go. Start at verse 22. Let me read just a little bit. Honor is connected to submission. So 522 reads, wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands, as unto Yahweh. For the husband is the head of the wife, even as Hamashiach or Mashiach is the head of the church, and he is the savior of the body. Therefore, as a church is subject unto Christ or Mashiach, so let the wives be unto their own husbands in everything. Wow. Husbands, love your wives, even as Mashiach also loved the church and gave himself for it, that he may sanctify and cleanse it, the washing of water by the word. So let's pause really quick. When she shows him no type of honor, if she doesn't honor him, she's not going to submit to him.
Mm-hmm.
She's not going to submit to him. So now he's unable to love her because she chooses not to honor him. So how can you love someone who doesn't honor you? It doesn't go together.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you're asking Yah to love you, but you don't honor him.
Mm-hmm.
Get that?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the perpetual situation that most relationships go through, is because this world is telling you is their husband and gives him the honor, but he refuses to love them and protect them. Rather, put them on the battlefield of life. There's certain burdens a woman is not supposed to carry. I don't care how smart she is. Women are built for the things that women were built for, not for what man was built for. A woman is not a man.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way you understand that is if you knew the identity of who you were. So you know what role you're supposed to be playing. So how in the world, how their households run, it's chaos. This is good.
Oh, yeah.
Honor has to do with submission. So if a person is lacking honor, they won't submit. We have to understand that it's tied to the dissension of your relationship, and it's tied to death. Why? Because there's no honor and there's no submission. Now, respect, here's the key. Respect has to do with working together. What does that mean to you, you think? So respect has to do with working together. What comes to mind when you hear that?
Building.
Okay.
Respecting the strengths and weaknesses
There
of
we go.
that person.
There we go.
You know, not
The
tearing them.
differences,
Yeah,
right?
not tearing them down.
That's
Just
good.
because they might be weak in an area.
Right.
You know.
Let's get some support on that. Proverbs chapter 4. Verse 7. It says, wisdom is the principal thing. Wisdom is the principal thing. That word principle is reshith, like bereshith. Therefore, get wisdom, kana, to create it, to procure it. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. Men and women are so different. Together, that's so different, but together, they're powerful together. That's why he said, and the two shall become what? One. Because I'm going to cause that two to become one based on to work through your what? Differences.
Mm-hmm.
But when a person lacks honor and they lack respect, then they also lack understanding. That's why there's some relationships that are like this. They're like this. and not like this. Just because you're close, look, just because you're close doesn't mean you're together. Get that? This is close, but it can easily fall away. But this is together, and it's hard to tear apart, right? Because two is better than one, and a threefold cord is not easily broken, right? So here it is, close, together. Y'all see that? Some of y'all think you're together, but you're just close. Close it together because now you become one.
You're working. You're continuing
yes,
to work on it.
Yes. You fill the gaps.
Yeah. You understand what's missing, what needs patience, what you need to work on. Yeah.
And it's like, and you don't have to worry about feeling used because you both working hard on different things that keep you what? Together. Let me give you an example. Y'all probably already know this because I always tell y'all, man, I got a good woman, man. I'll tell you that right now. I'm serious. She ain't gotta be on camera. I got a good woman. Man. So today I was like, hey babe, you know, I'm gonna need you to make my favorite meal tonight. Do you mind, I asked very politely. I asked with respect and honor and understanding. I'm very sweet about it. May I, ma'am, Royal Highness? No,
he didn't.
I don't do that. May I have my favorite dish tonight, please? She's like, sure. This doing her thing, right? But getting down and that final product, brothers, sisters, man, I'm so full right now. I'm trying to burn energy. Talk to y'all. She can do something I can't quite do like her. And she does it in a way that the Most High has graced her to do. When it comes down to the bills, man, I do that with my eyes closed. Backwards and forward. I got a whole system put together. Excel spreadsheet calculations. It all tallying over here. If she looks at this, she probably would, her brain, she's like, I need to get some sleep.
I don't even check the mailbox. I'm not good at that.
But look, that's this. But if I'm doing all the work and not working with her, we're not together. We have to do things together with understanding. Hey, babe, this is what I'm about to do with the money. Okay, here it is. Here's what we've done. Great. Hey, babe, here's what I'm about to do with the house. Boom. Here's what I'm about to do with the food. Boom. How do you feel about this? Boom. Why? Because I honor you. I respect you. Now, if you're in a relationship where there's no honor and respect, you don't even know what's going on. Who cooking? I didn't even know you cooked. What day you cook? It's no one knows their role. You cleaned up. I cleaned up yesterday. What's the rules of the house? Where's the order? Look, where's the understanding? See, infidelity is tied to people who have a relationship with no understanding. Outside of sex, you have no other understanding on why y'all together. But you're hoping this person and making this person honor you and force this person to respect you. But you don't even have understanding of what you have.
That part.
So, thank you for tuning in.
Could I elaborate on the understanding part?
Go ahead, babe.
Okay, because you went in the strong with everything else, but the understanding, I just tapped on it, and look what it is. Build. Bane. Remember Bane?
Bane, yep, son, yep.
Yeah, and it's the word. The root word is bane, but it's bana. Basically, understanding. Remember how you said if you don't have understanding, your relationship will die because you just don't understand what's good, what's not good, and who's better at this or whatever else.
Right.
Well, that's true because you can see it. It shows you. It's the bet, the yod, noon, and the hey. But bane, the root word, talks about a continuance.
Yeah.
It's tied to the continuing of the house. Bane is son in Hebrew, which basically means the house builder. So if you have a son, he's going to continue to build that man's seed, and he's going to continue. You're going to build on something. But if you don't have that understanding, like the Most High says, honor your mother, your father, so your days can be long on the earth.
Right.
That's the only commandment that comes with life. And
yeah, it's tied to your life.
Right, it's tied to your life. So without that respect and without that honor, your relationship dies. There's no more continuance because you don't have an understanding in it. And that's just Hebrew. That's Hebraic. I mean, you could look in the Strong and see that. That's just Hebraic right there. It's work. It's going to take both of you guys to work on quality time together.
Yeah.
You know, let's refresh ourselves.
And it shouldn't just be one person.
Yeah, it has to be a two-party
and that's the problem
thing. It can't be forced.
But see, it's connected to Yah.
Right.
If y'all don't both serve Yah, y'all not going to see the same thing about your relationship. You're going to see two different things.
Right.
It's a two-headed beast.
And so some people are in relationships in that chaos, and they're thinking that it's going to pan itself out. It's not going to work. It's there, scripture. It's not going to work.
Right.
It's written already.
That's deep. Whew. This is good. Anything else?
No.
These things, but we got to identify the problem first. So this is traits of infidelity that's connected to the commandment. To the commandments, and it is a good correlation.
It definitely is. We
talked about the carnal mind, number 1. Number 2, the evil sight. 3, idolatry and vanity. 4, this is gonna go for 2 hours. Okay. So we're tuning in next Thursday night, same time, same place. Y'all willing, of course. May the Most High bless and keep all of you. For those who keep the Shabbat, that's coming tomorrow night's Shabbat. You know, Shabbat Shalom. I'm not sure if we will act live or not, but for those who do keep Shabbat, you get your rest. Yeah, we got to go in it. We got to sanctify ourselves, Kodesh, right? Set apart, and then we'll touch base, of course, next week. So praise the Most High Yah. I love my family, my wife. Thank you for joining, babe, and being part of this Love Boat series. Having an idea. She's the one that came up with this right here. She's like, we should do like some kind of love boat. Like, all right, cool, So I just thank the Most High for a very supportive wife, and someone who I know that we're more than just close. We're together. So praise the Most High. Have a wonderful night, and until next time, shalom.
Shalom.
Right. So never mind the shutters in the background. We have
a cameraman.
Yeah, we got somebody over here that's violating our privacy.
Yeah. So are there any questions or comments maybe?
Oh, you almost ended it. Hey, shalom. Shalom. Yeah, I guess we'll open up for questions, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
That may keep a whole nother hour, babe.
I'm just saying, before we get off, if no one has any questions, that's fine.
Only question.
I have Facebook open. I don't see any questions here. Okay.
I got to go back and watch. I'm late. Okay, no problem. Trying my best to see how to do that. So hopefully y'all can help us out. We need more subscribers on the YouTube.
The YouTube.
Yes. You hear that, son?
Okay, oldie but goodie.
Hey, I know that's right.
The YouTube.
The YouTube. Man, I was on the YouTube.
The YouTube.
Any questions?
I don't think so. I think you're free to get comfortable and be full. Are you tucking in your stomach this whole time?
My shirt is very upset. I'm like, if you don't let me go, right? Hold it on.
So silly.
For real, like my stomach. I've been holding my breath in this for 2 hours. Like, it did honor and respect.
You do such a good job.
Yeah.
Thank you. You do. You're such a wise man.
appreciate that. Praises to the Most High.
You are. I really appreciate
Praise to
your
God,
wisdom. I
man.
learn every single time we sit down. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm glad that you said I influenced you with Love Boat.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, you're like, we need to talk to the people. You're like, I'll set it up and I'll do the reminder. And I'm like, all right, and we try so hard, y'all, to just try to stay committed. It's
Yeah.
just people who know us personally know how busy we are, and that's not an excuse. It's just more or less, just our situation at the moment. But Most High continues to show us the way to freedom, and that's more of our time and our resources and our abilities and things of that nature. So we love y'all. We're thankful for everyone who takes the time out to even listen to the things that the Most High have shared, given us to share. So anyway, there's no questions. I don't see anything coming up there.
I don't either. I think you guys are, and there can be so many different places and channels you can be and different things. I know everybody's on a different time zone too that's on this live, so I really appreciate it. And if you missed it or you just joined, I definitely recommend you to re-watch this, rewind it, and share it.
I think it was a good video.
It's a very good video. I think that it's good for singles too.
Yeah.
I really walked away with a better understanding though. We're not perfect and we're not up here trying to act like, oh, y'all are bad and blah, 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 blah. We know it's just a culture. It's the way that we grew up in America. I would never down a sister or a brother that is in a relationship in a culture that grew up in this culture. We have to unlearn the things that we were taught.
Yeah.
And that's simply what we're just trying to put out here. We're not saying that, oh, we got it all figured out. That's not what we're saying. We're just here to try to enlighten and share the truth in situations that we all stumbled in. We stumbled in the dark. We stumbled in the dark. It's not like, oh, ha, ha, ha. It's okay if this brought some light to you and understanding what the difference of fidelity and fornication is, and maybe you just need to do a reevaluation of your situation, maybe. Whatever that is, it is, but just do an examination of it and just go from there. And it's not anything to feel bad about. I feel like it's good that you have information out here and scripture that can fly off of the pages or off of your cell phone or whatever you're using to do the scriptures and whoever you're going through. I think like if I would have heard this message and me being in a previous relationship the way I was, I would have to think about some things.
Yeah,
sure. I would
Me
definitely
too.
be like, wow.
If I would have heard this,
yeah,
I'm like, man, I'm not in no relationship with fidelity.
Yeah, I think the first thought I would think is, how dare me have the nerve to expect this person to
when I'm in sin
treat me like I'm married, and it's like, well, fornication begat fornication, so we're both in fornication.
Deep. But when you tell people that there is no sin, they don't know they're transgressing the law
of Yah first.
Then how can they transgress the law of their relationship?
Right. And it's like, well, shoot, do I even understand what a relationship is? And I think that it's really good, especially like for singles too, because they don't understand the difference. Like, I didn't really understand. The only thing I knew about marriage before I got married was that, oh, it's a contract. It's something that, man, this thing is more serious than a girlfriend-boyfriend relationship. Girlfriend-boyfriend relationship, you can break up, walk. It's a big deal, but it's not a big deal. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But now you see how it is really a bigger deal than what you even thought. It's not surface big deal. Huge. It's like deep big deal.
Yeah.
And so for singles that are, probably never had that understanding, this was just a really good message of what it takes to be in a marriage. Like, all those things is good. Like, all those things, everything that we talked about is real for marriages. Everything. If you're not ready and if your mind is not set, do not, now that you do, you have things you can watch out for. I feel like this is like really, really good information.
Praise the Most High. And one thing I wanted to share with everyone is that when you look up the word infidelity, like we gave the definition of it,
Mm-hmm.
fidelity means faithfulness to a person. It means faithfulness to a person, faithfulness to a cause, and faithfulness to a belief. If you're with someone that's not faithful already to something,
Right.
you'll be a fool to think that they'll be faithful to you. And the way they show their faithfulness, fidelity is the faithfulness to a person, cause, or belief demonstrated, you know, type of support, and you have to question their loyalty, and you think you're in a covenant.
Mm. That's so
One
bad.
thing, this is how you know you're with the right person. How do they support you?
Mm-hmm.
How do they show their loyalty to you? Do you have to ask them for their support?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have to ask them for their loyalty? I promise you right now, there's nobody in this world. You could ask my wife. I'll tell, as soon as she almost have a half of an idea, I'm already supporting her. I'm ready to pay for it.
Mm-hmm. And not just pay, but you're
But
just
that's what I'm
always
saying.
there. Like it's
I want to support so bad.
yeah, but
You
it's
know?
busy. And this is really, I'm gonna give you a little bit of information about check the references, trust, believe. We both do. We be looking at the scriptures about our marriage or about marriage, period, because we want to make sure that it lasts. Okay. Just like on 6 days you should work, and on the seventh day it's the Shabbat, right? It's hard. See, that's so religious. That's so, see, oh, you're a woman, you staying. And yeah, there is a manly duty, but the woman is a helper. But with that said, my husband, we both work very hard. Our children work very hard. This whole house is busy 6 days a week. He works 12 to 14 hours a day. And when he's off of work, he still makes time to understand how he does it all. But he is a great example of what the Most High said the man is supposed to be like. Like,
thanks, baby.
I mean, I'm serious. Like, I've never even, when I look at the scripture and I look and I compare that to what a father and what a husband is supposed to be like, you're a very good example of that. And I just appreciate that because I never been married a day in my life.
Yeah.
But to be in a marriage like this, I'm so glad that the Most High has blessed our marriage.
Yeah.
And first of all, has blessed you because I know how to respond as a wife to something like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like that helps me to respond. That helps me to be submissive. That helps me to show you respect. That helps me to show you honor. That helps me, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm sure vice versa. But it's hard to be this wife and this, to have those attributes, and you have someone that doesn't have that.
Yeah.
That's not like that. That's very difficult. And I know that not every woman is in that situation.
Yeah.
And it's not because of her. It's just maybe just the understanding. It's the understanding of what that other person's perspective is about marriage. And it's just good that if everyone could get that part, if they can just see and understand the words of the scripture, Yah would just rain down showers of blessings on people's marriages and relationship, and the Most High can bless it.
You know what's funny? You say that. I was like, you know what? I remember, and I believe there's a lot of people that think this way now. And I know it's going to sound crazy what I'm about to say, but I got to say it. So they say, I guess before the age of 7 or 8, a person learns everything they're going to know about life at that time. You're just repeating it through life. Okay. In our hearts of hearts, we want to believe that, man, I know this person can change. Okay?
Mhm.
I'm not saying people can't change,
Mhm.
but the problem is until they change, because unequally yoked. So how in the world can you knowingly jump into an unequally yoked relationship in the mind, heart, and spirit? Unequally yoked. And believe with all your heart that everything about to be okay.
Mm. That's
He's saying
deception.
don't be unequally yoked, but you're being unequally yoked with the hope that this person is going to change soon based off of how you feel you think they should be.
Mhm.
Not how now who the Most High has already preordained, predestined them to already be. The Most High could have already said in his mind, this person ain't gonna make it. That's a tough pill for people to swallow. People have a hard time understanding that some people just ain't go get it.
Mhm.
Just like some people ain't go wake up. But there's a part of us that believe.
Mhm.
That's like, no, but there's this chance, man. It's they right there. Okay. But because you feel that way does not guarantee that that person's gonna change. So you can't treat them as if though they're already there.
Right. Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? The Most High, that's like the Most High awarding us the kingdom while we got Christmas trees in around. No, yeah, I know they almost there, boy. Let me go ahead and get in the kingdom. No, you have
You
not
have to get
changed
yourself right.
because everybody not go change, and you can't just continue into a relationship or jump into a relationship when the person have not shown no signs.
Mhm. It says approving.
Yeah, haven't shown no signs
Mhm.
on being on one accord with ya or being on one accord with you.
Mhm.
Are they on one accord with you just because they want to be with you? They're getting more out the relationship than you. It should not be like that.
Mhm.
A person should not be just taking from you. But when it's time for you to take, the person ain't got no time
Right.
or ain't got nothing to give. Well, they fresh out. They fresh out. I ain't got no. Anyway, we're gonna pick up next week. This is great. There's no questions.
No.
You guys go ahead and save this message.